sun is here to stay. It's time to find a friend and push the night away. Time to find a friend who shared the dream I found. A dream to tell the world that love is all around.
5.
No matter where the land, black or white or brown, or rich and poor or small, it's time to gather round.
Our teacher's very nice. She tells us good stories and likes to laugh. I am glad she's our teacher because she likes us.
Emma and me, we've been friends for ages, ever since we started school. I can't remember when Emma wasn't my friend. It would be awful if she ever went away because we do everything together. Sometimes other girls play with us too. I like that, but Emma is my really best friend.
I think you need to have a friend. Everyone needs one. If you didn't have a friend, you'd be really lonely and have no one to talk to and play with. I've got friends and they're really good.
Most of the boys I know are very friendly. They're good at giving you a hand if you're stuck with anything and need some help. I've got a special friend. He's called John. He lives near me and we go to school together.
We've got a great janitor at our school. He's always joking and laughing. Sometimes he lets me help him with his work. That's the best bit. I think he's a good friend to have.
If you've got something nice, you should share it with your friends. It makes them happy and it makes you feel glad too. Sometimes, though, it's really hard to share.
Hello, welcome to the programme. I'm Frida Morrison, and I'm going to be with you for the next few weeks with some chat, some stories, and some songs. Today we're going to look at friends. I've got friends, and I expect you've got friends. Some people have got lots of friends. Have a look at these pictures. They're all drawings and paintings boys and girls have done of their friends. And look at this one. It's a picture of a procession. Can you see the man sitting in the tree? There's a story to go with it. It's about a man who found a friend where he was least expecting to find one. I have the story here in the Gather Round book. Once, a very long time ago, in a hot country called Palestine, there was a man who didn't have any friends. No one to have a meal with, or to chat to, or have an evening out with. The reason was the job he did. He was a tax gatherer. Zacchaeus, that was his name. Zacchaeus made sure that the people paid all the taxes which were due to the king. The trouble was, no one trusted tax gatherers. People were pretty sure that they always asked for more money than was really due, and kept the rest for their own pockets. So no one liked the tax gatherers, and certainly no one would want one for a friend. So Zacchaeus was a pretty lonely man. One day, when he was walking in the town, he heard the sound of cheering and shouting and clapping. Like most of us, Zacchaeus was curious, and he turned along the street towards the noise, which grew louder and louder. He turned a corner, and there, on the town's main street, were gathered huge crowds of people, looking down the road and cheering for all they were worth. Zacchaeus hurried over for a closer look. Now, he wasn't a very tall man. In fact, he was rather short. So he stretched and strained, jumped and twisted, but he couldn't manage to see over the heads of the people in front. What's happening? Is it a procession? Who is it? Zacchaeus was getting really excited. It's Jesus. He's coming along the road." The woman in front turned round with a smile, but this changed to a scowl when she saw Zacchaeus. "Jesus? Who's Jesus?" "Jesus of Nazareth, of course. The teacher. You must have heard of him." And then Zacchaeus remembered. For months, people had been talking about the wonderful man Jesus, who was friends with rich people and poor alike, who was never too busy to help. Poor lonely Zacchaeus desperately wanted to see this Jesus. But how was he going to get through the crowd? They wouldn't make a space for a tax gatherer, that was certain. And then Zacchaeus had a great idea. Along the sides of the roads were great trees giving shade from the hot sun. If he could get up into one of them, he could have a really good view. Zacchaeus was little, but he was a good climber, and up he went into the tree nearest him. And what a marvelous view he got. There were all Jesus' friends, and there, right at the front, was Jesus himself, riding a donkey and smiling at the crowd. Sometimes he stopped and spoke to people at the side of the road, children, old women, young men. And soon he came right underneath Zacchaeus' tree, and there he stopped. Zacchaeus' heart stood still, for Jesus looked right up at him there in his tree. He smiled at the little tax gatherer. "Hurry home, Zacchaeus," he said. "Get some food ready, because I'm going to eat with you tonight." And then, still smiling, he moved on. Lucky Zacchaeus. Out of all those people, Jesus had chosen him for a friend. Zacchaeus knew that his life was starting to change. Did you like that story? Stories are fun, and so are songs. Would you like to sing the Gather Round song with me? Morning comes again, the sun is here to stay. It's time to find a friend and push the night away. Time to find a friend who shared the dream I found, a dream to tell the world that love is all around. Well, did you like the song? That's our Gather Round song. I'll sing it one more time, and if you've picked it up, the tune, or picked up the words, you might like to join in. Morning comes again, the sun is here to stay. It's time to find a friend and push the night away. Time to find a friend who shared the dream I found, a dream to tell the world that love is all around. Well, that was the Gather Round song. We'll have more of that song next week. I enjoy singing, and so does my friend Jenny. She plays the guitar too, and we enjoy singing together. Friends like doing things together, working together, playing together. A friend is good for talking to, for sharing your problems, and even for fighting with, and then making up. We need friends when we're sick, and our friends needn't just be our own age. Grown-up friends can be a great comfort, especially when we're new. And when we're lost. And even when everything's going well, there are times when we'd all do almost anything to have a friend. Zacchaeus knew what it was like to have nobody, and you can imagine how he felt when he made the best friend of all. I'll tell you a story now about a boy, Derek, who one cold winter thought he'd lost his friend. Derek was on his way to visit his best friend, George. George lived in a big field about a mile from Derek's house. Derek liked to think of George as his pony. Of course, he really belonged to the farmer, and Derek didn't even know what the pony's real name was. But George suited him, and to Derek, he was just George. Every Saturday morning, he visited the brown horse with his pockets stuffed with goodies. Today it was carrots, baby ones fresh out of the earth, that Derek's dad said he could take. But that morning, when Derek reached the field, there was no welcoming whinny, no warm nose reaching hopefully into his pocket. The field was empty. "George!" he called, but it was plain the pony was nowhere near. Derek felt the telltale lump come to his throat, but he swallowed it down, squared his shoulders, and set off for the farmhouse. The farmer smiled when he saw Derek. "And what can we do for you, young man?" Derek explained, and the farmer looked sympathetic. "Ah, the big pony. He's sold. Gone up to Northfields, 2 miles up the road." Poor Derek. But when he thought a bit, he cheered up. He'd go and visit George in his new home, and things could go on, just as always. The next day he went to Northfields, and it wasn't too long before he found George. But that is when Derek received his second shock, for George wasn't alone. There was a girl on his back, and George was galloping round the field. Derek thought he looked splendid. When the girl saw Derek, she drew George in and came over to the fence. "Who are you?" she demanded, rather rudely. Derek explained that he'd come to visit his friend George. "George?" the girl laughed. "His name's Prince, and you'd better clear off. My father doesn't like to see strangers hanging around his land." Derek looked at his old friend George for the last time. The girl might call him Prince, but he'd always be George to him. As he trailed sadly home, he didn't spot the silent figure of the girl's father watching from the shadow of the trees. A few days later, coming home from school, he was surprised to see a strange man talking to his mother. "Hello, Derek. We haven't met, but I know a friend of yours. George, I think you call him. He'd like to see you again, and I know a certain young lady who'd like to apologize." Derek's mom smilingly gave permission for him to go to visit George. Derek was really excited at the idea of seeing George again, but wondered what it was all about. What did the man want? And Derek wasn't too sure that he wanted to see that girl again. He hadn't liked her the first time. On the way, the man explained he'd bought the pony for his daughter Susan, who'd been very ill. She needed exercise to become strong again. She'd been right about her father not liking strangers around the farm, but there had been no need to be rude. "George, or Prince, is missing you," he said. "We'd be glad to offer you the job of looking after him. Susan isn't strong enough to do it herself." When they reached George's field, the pony came cantering over to meet Derek, whinnying with pleasure. The girl was standing by the gate, looking more friendly now. "I'm sorry I was rude," she said. "Prince really missed you. You will help me look after him, won't you?" Derek smiled and said, "I'll come every day after school." Susan jumped up and down with pleasure. And to celebrate, meet Prince George. Well, it seems that Derek not only got his old friend George back, but he made a new friend in Susan. Bye for now. See you soon. Morning comes again, the sun is here to stay. It's time to find a friend and push the night away. Time to find a friend who'll share the dream I found, a dream to tell the world that love is all around. Morning comes again, the sun is here to stay. It's time to find a friend and push the night away. Time to find a friend to share the dream I found,